Let's have a look at Fairer Warmth. Essentially, there are three parts to Fairer Warmth: the householder dashboard, the champion hub, and the admin dashboard. We call this the front, the middle and the back end. Let's have a look at the householder dashboard in the front end. When a customer signs up to Fairer Warmth, they'll be asked to input some of their information to check their eligibility for local and national support options and grants. It's this information that then determines what they see on this first top carousel under energy support options. As you can see here, there are a number of local and national grants that are being offered to me based on the information I've input. The second carousel is all our tips and tricks. These are quick and easy wins to help save money on your energy bill. You can scroll through using the arrows. The third and final carousel is all about retrofit and renewables. These are the bigger things that we can do to our homes in order to save money and energy. Again, you can scroll through and see all of the different options available to you. At any point, if you want to come back to one of these particular cards that's of interest, you can click on the heart and it will save it to your plan, which is up here at the top. You can also click on Learn More to go into the card and view the information. As you can see, some of them have videos associated with them. We can tell you about the estimated cost to implement that particular energy support option or tip or trick, and how difficult it is to implement. You can also track your progress to implementing any of these particular options. Click on Track Progress and then on the relevant tick box alongside it. You can go back to your plan at any point by clicking on My Plan, and you'll see an overview of any of the actions you've added. In this top box, it tells us how much we might save a year if we were to implement all of the actions, and the number of trees as well. Using these three dots in this circle below, you can track your progress here as well, and when you've completed an energy saving action, it will store here in completed actions at the bottom. Householders can also update and change their property by clicking on My Property and then view My Property details. This will then take them through the same information they've provided at sign up, so they can change their information about their home if they've implemented any retrofits, and about their personal information such as tenure or household income. By changing this information and clicking on the Calculate Results button at the end, this will update any of the energy support options, as this is all based on eligibility criteria. I'll show you the Champion Hub now and how that works. Energy champions or energy advisors are assigned that status, and then this little tab here appears, the Champion Hub. By clicking on this, we can enable champion mode and start working with customers individually like a CRM system. As you can see, there's a number of customers here who have been assigned to me. I can see their status, whether they're open or closed, when they were added to the system, and if there are any open or overdue tasks. Let's have a look at this user here and click on the edit pen. And this takes me into the customer profile. I can always see which property and customer I'm working with under this bar here, which says Active Property and User. In the customer record, I can see a tab around advice details. This helps me score customer satisfaction and tells me whether a customer is harder to reach or treat. This could be such as a vulnerability circumstance. I can also select an event where the customer signed up to Fairer Warmth and how I'm giving that in-person energy advice, whether that's at an event or over the telephone, for example, and then click Save Advice Details. I can also assign tasks, and as you can see here, there's a couple of tasks already assigned to this particular customer, both of which are overdue. One of the tasks, for example, was to book an EPC for the customer. The private note tabs allow me to keep records about the customer that I may not want them to see, such as there's a dog in the property. It's really good to be aware that although these are private notes, at any point the customer could make a request under UK GDPR to see these notes that are kept about them, so don't write anything in here you wouldn't necessarily want the customer to view. The Public Notes tab allows me to send messages to the customer and the customer to send messages to me. Documents is for myself and the customer to be able to upload relevant or important documents about them or the property. This could be an EPC certificate, or I could ask the customer to upload a GP letter to prove their eligibility for a grant, for example. The Compliance tab has all of our GDPR consent requirements stored in it, and this is a really important tab to make sure is complete for each customer, as we can also monitor this in the admin section in KPIs. As you can see, there are a number of questions here to ask about the individual customer's disability, ethnicity, and referrals to third parties. The Action Plan tab is a copy of the My Plan. This just shows us all of the different support options which have been added in one simple view and whether or not they've been completed. This is a way to quickly add actions when you're working with a customer or update the status. Support requests is where any requests for support from this customer will be stored. Support requests come when an energy support option has the support request button enabled. This is a way of customers being able to make requests to you or to ask for your help about particular support options or grants that you may be delivering in your area. If you've got a particular energy support option that you'd like us to review and update the support request button for, please let us know. The Appointments tab allows us to make and schedule appointments with the customer. This could be an appointment for an assessment for an EPC or for our next telephone advice or check-in. As an energy champion, I can go back to my list of customers by clicking on View List, and there I will see the customers that are assigned to me. I can also see my open tasks, any notes that I've left, and any support requests that have been created for me. Another feature of the Champion Hub is being able to onboard a new household. This is very helpful if you are talking to somebody over the telephone, or you have a vulnerable customer or somebody who is digitally excluded and may not be able to do this for themselves. Essentially, this just takes you through the sign-up process where you input the customer's details alongside them. Let's now have a look at the admin dashboard. Admin rights are granted to the people who need to see things such as KPIs and customer data in finer detail. As you can see, there is a toolbar along the left-hand side here, which has a lot of tools which are useful for implementing to engage with customers. The KPI Monitoring tab shows us all of the customer data for people who've signed up to Fairer Warmth in our area. You can treat this like an Excel spreadsheet and use the filter and sorting tabs at the top to filter or search by customer name, for example, or by a contact number or email address. The Manage Champions tab does exactly what it says on the tin, and this is where you manage your energy champions. From here you can assign a property to a champion or export some of the data to Excel. Also see in this box here the number of customers who are assigned to each individual champion and the number of tasks which are open. Property data shows us all of the data drawn in from EPCs about the properties that are signed up to Fairer Warmth in our accounts. Again, like an Excel spreadsheet, you can cut and filter this data however you like and then export that data to an Excel spreadsheet. The property map is closely interlinked, as this shows where all of our properties are on a map and how they are dispersed. You can see the properties which have signed up using the red dots here, and you can click on those to see the details of the property and view the property in more detail by clicking here. The Events tool allows us to create events and then assign where a customer signs up to in the Advice Details Given tab, such as in the Energy Champions Hub. Campaigns tab and tool gives us the ability to create a campaign and a QR code and associated URL. For example, in this Health Champions campaign, we can see that there is an image area, so you can update your own image for your organisation, an area to write a welcome message, and then the QR code and the URL for this particular campaign. This tool is really helpful because you can create a campaign and QR code specific to one particular place. For example, you might want to print this onto a poster for a medical centre. When a customer then signs up using this QR code, the responses from that QR code sign up will track through time here. The notifications tool allows us to contact all or some customers in one clean sweep. We can do this, for example, by creating a notification and then add recipients, and we see all of our customer data. I could then, for example, cut this data by saying I only want to contact people with an EPC of D or below. This might be useful if delivering something like the Warm Homes Local Grant. This then filters all of those customers. I can then click on the boxes on the left to add recipients, add those recipients to this notification, and all of their email addresses appear here. Now you can either send a notification via the Fairer Warmth app itself, or you can copy these emails and put them into your own Outlook or company mailbox. We also have a surveys tool in Fairer Warmth. Here you can create a survey looking at things like customer satisfaction or knowledge and attitudes towards renewable energy. This is a really useful tool to be able to see what your customers think about different things. You can create as many new surveys as you wish and monitor responses in Fairer Warmth. You can also see what energy saving actions your customers have added to their My Plans and see them in one simple area. This helps you monitor things like what is proving popular, whether or not you can work with local installers to bulk purchase things like floor insulation, or whether you should run a workshop on time of use electricity tariffs, for example. There are lots of useful tools in the Fairer Warmth admin. At any point you can go back to your Fairer Warmth main homepage and start at the beginning in the householder area. I hope you found this demonstration useful. If you'd like to have a further demonstration or a further in-depth look at any part of Fairer Warmth or any of our digital products, please do feel free to contact us at contact@cee-uk.com.